Have you ever wondered what insight you can get from your emails? What if you could analyze trends, detect sentiment, and even automate your email reporting, all with Python? Every day we see how businesses and individuals receive countless emails, even me myself. But then instead of just reading them, what if we could just extract valuable data from those emails? Imagine analyzing customer feedback, tracking email trends, or even detecting spam, all automatically with Python. So in this video, I will walk you through how to analyze emails step by step using Python. We'll cover fetching email using IMAP. We'll extract useful information like sender, subject, and content. We will perform sentiment analysis to understand the emotions in emails. Then we will also visualize insight using Python chart, okay, and also WordCloud. And then lastly, we are going to automate the process for future reporting. What are we going to do? So whether you are a business owner, data analyst, or just a Python enthusiast, you are welcome. Stick around, dive in, and start unlocking the power of email analysis with Python. This is Jacob Isah, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. So the first thing we are going to do is to create our virtual environment. So I'm going to create my virtual environment. So I'll do Python, then flag M, then V, and then the name of my environment, so I'll call it env and hit enter. So while that is creating, all right, it's getting ready. Okay, so now that we have created our virtual environment, so I'll move this inside the email folder. Yes, because that's where we are going to house everything. And then inside that, I'm going to create a new file, and I'll call that file, what should I call it? Let's call it analysis.py. analysis.py. Okay, and there we have it. So we have it now inside this analysis.py. That's where we are going to work now. So let's activate the virtual environment. So I'll do the name of my environment here in env /scripts like this /, and then we'll see it to inside email, and then inside the email we can now activate. Now our virtual environment is activated. So the next thing we are going to do is we are now going to install our libraries, okay, all the libraries that we need. So let's install them. So we're going to use pip install. Okay, so I'm not going to install them individually, so we install them all in one. So we'll do pip install, and then followed by the names of all the libraries we want to install. So we want to install IMAP. We want to also install TextBlob, WordCloud, Pandas, Matplotlib. All right, so this is what we are going to install, and once we hit enter, then they should start installing. So we have them installed. So I'm going to upgrade the pip. Let's upgrade the pip. Now that we have them installed, so we need to now begin to import every single one of the libraries that we just installed. We're going to import IMAP library, then we're going to import email, then we are also going to import email. Let's import email header. So from email.header we are importing header like this. Then after that we are going to import pandas as pd. We are going to import TextBlob, so we say okay, and then lastly we are going to import WordCloud. Okay, now that we've finished importing our files, the next thing is we're now going to fetch our emails. And for us to fetch our emails, what do we need to do? Call the IMAP and then pass in our email address and password. Okay, this is what we are going to do. So I'll have a variable, I can call it mail or anything, can call it mail, and then equal to, then I'll call the IMAP like this. Inside here we are now going to pass in calling the IMAP, calling email on the IMAP. So we say double quote, say IMAP gmail.com. okay, now we can now initiate login with the IMAP. So we can say IMAP, oh sorry, we can do not IMAP, we use our variable, so mail.login, and then inside that we'll now pass in our email address. So in this case I'm going to use jacob.com. okay, and then I'm now going to pass in my password. Now the password you pass in here is not going to be your original password. It's going to be password from your Google. So I'll show you how to do that now. So all you need is open and go to this address, myaccount.google.com/passwords. okay, and then once I hit enter, it opens, and then it's going to ask me my password. I'll say continue, and then once I log in, I can now view my password. So this is the one I've used before. I can create a new another one, okay, and then I'll still call it demo and then create a new one. Now this becomes my password, and then this with this as my password, I will now go back to our code and then pass in the password here like this. All right, now that I've passed in the password, I need to select where am I picking. So I want to select only inbox. So what I'll do is I'll do mail.select, and then in there I'll now pass in inbox. Like after doing this, I need to now search for unread mails. So I'll now do status like this. Okay, status, comma, what should be the next variable? Okay, let's call it messages like this, and then equal to, then I'll now call mail variable, the one I did before, and I'll call the dot search, so you should search for the ones that I've not read. Okay, search, and then it should be none, unseen like this. Now then I'll now call I need to know the email ID, because that is what I'll use to get the email. So I'll do something like this, email underscore ID, ID, whatever. Then I will now do equal to, okay, equal to, and then call the message. I'm now going to split. Okay, I'm splitting them, all right, like this. Split. I'll call the split method. Now let us now fetch the latest email. I need to have here, I'm now going to fetch, so I'll now call the mail variable. Remember our variable from the beginning, then we'll call fetch. Okay, fetch like this, and inside that fetch we'll now pass in our email ID. Remember what we did at the top there, so we'll say email. Okay, email. Then I'm now going to look through. Okay, so I'll do for, let's look through, so we'll do for MSG data. Then I want to be able to check for instances. Okay, so I'll do if instances like this. Okay, instance response underscore path like this. Okay, then tuple, I'll call tuple here. Okay, I will now do msg equal to email dot message underscore from underscore bytes. All right, so we need to convert it from binary, okay, to text, and that's what we are doing now. Okay, so see, now the next thing we need to do is to extract the email. Okay, we need to extract the email content, the content of the email. So how do we do that? So we can now begin to extract the subject, the sender, and the email body. Okay, so for us to extract the subject, we'll do a subject like this. Let's have encoding. Remember, we need to convert, we need to change it from binary to what? To text. Okay, so encoding. So we are now doing decode. We'll call the decode header we import earlier, and then square bracket, and inside that square bracket, this will specify what we want. So here we're saying it should give us the subject, so we say subject like this. We can now specify where it should start from, so it should start from index 0. If is instance, then subject, then byte. We can now do subjects, and then we can now pass encoding, then we can print the subject. Okay, let's see. I'm going to run the code so that we'll know where we are. So what's the error? So before we continue, so I'll do subject. I will now do, now let's run this code and to see what we are doing. So I'll do Python like this, Pyplot. So my importation here is wrong. Is that what you're saying? Invalid. Import matplotlib pyplot as import matlib dot. Okay, sorry, matlib dot. Okay, message is not defined. Okay, at line 14. So let's go to line 14. Oh yes, message, right? And let's run again. Aha, so this is the very current email I just received from my email. I think this is from OpenAI, inside OpenAI target deal. no, I think this email should be coming from AI Tools newsletter, but then let's keep going. We'll get to it as we go. All right, so that means we have a working code. So we have been able to extract the subject successfully. Now let's extract the sender. So for us to extract this, the sender, we'll follow the same step. So here we are now going to do sender, okay, msg, okay, then we call the .get method and then pass in the keyword from, okay, so that we'll know where it's coming from, and then we can print where the person that the mail is coming from. So we can also run this one so that we see who sent the previous email we just saw. So here I'll do print, and then let's run the code again and let's know get to where this coming from. So I got a new email, and this is from Luno, your weekly crypto market update, and you can see that it's telling you the email address and telling me it's coming from Luno. Now we have been able to get the subject and where the email is coming from successfully. Now let us now begin to extract the email body. It's either going to be in a plain text or HTML, depending on your requirement, what you need and what you want to do. Let's go into do it. Let's go and do it. So I'll do, okay, so we'll do def. So we're going to create a function, and then we are inside that function we are going to check for multi-path and also the content type, and if content type is equal to plain text, we'll return payload and decode it. All right, so let's go. So we're going to use function email extract email body. All right, and then here to inside the parameter we are going to pass in the msg. Remember, okay, our message variable, this is where what is holding the entire email that we are getting. All right, so and this is where we are decoding everything. Then msg, passing msg inside the parameter, and then inside the function we are now checking if the msg is multi-path. Okay, we are also going to check for loop inside the path. All right, so we say forward, so wall like this wall. Then we are going to do something like this. We say content type content underscore content. All right, like this. We should get a content type. We are going to check content underscore type equal to plain text, like this. Okay, so we do plain. So if it is text or plain, okay, and then it should return, it's going to return the path. All right, so we now call path like this, and then we call the payload. So it will get the payload or get underscore payload like this, and then inside it we're now going to pass the utf. So we'll do something like this, utf minus 8 like this, and then if there are error it should ignore. Okay, there are errors, so we say error. Okay, we have else clause. We should return msg, return our message dot get payload underscore payload like this, get payload, then decode equal true. You should also ignore error just like we did before. So the else needs to come out of the if condition. All right, so now let's run the code to see what. Okay, so this is a new email from security alert Google, no reply, app password used to sign in was removed. Okay, that was the first one I did that I removed. So that's the current email, and then this is the body. This is the body of the email. Okay, so there's Google image, app password used to sign in was removed, and my email, if you didn't remove this password someone might be using, and all of that. Okay, so this is it. This is how we can use Python to get email sender, email subject, and the email body. Then we can also perform sentiment. Sentiment simply means analyzing the email so that we see the tone of communication, whether the email is positive, the email is negative, or just a neutral email. All right, and then so you can also perform a sentiment. How do we do that? We can do it by using the sentiment. So here you can see that we have a variable, and then we are using the TextBlob, and then we are passing the body, which is now the message we are using, because this is the message we want to know if the message is negative or positive or just neutral. So when we run this now, let's run this. Okay, so the sentiment is 0.2, so meaning that it's not negative, it's positive. So if it is 0, it means it is negative. If it is over 0, it means it is positive. All right, so this is 0.274. okay, so this is one way we can know that there's the message, the sentiment score. So analyzing whether it is negative or positive. Now even with this, we can go further by also using we can also go further by implementing WordCloud. What WordCloud do is to give us look at the emails that we have and give us word from each of those emails, and that will give us an intro or an eye into our email. So if we do something like this, so we are using the word cloud, and then giving it a width, a height, a background, and also generating. Remember, we are still using the body of the body, which is the image, the email body. So, and then we are using the pie plot, the plot to get the figure, all right, so that we can show the image. So let's run now and see what we have. Okay, all right, and you can see here, so we have client, soon launched, unsubscribed, share, legit. So this is a newsletter I'm receiving from legit.com. This is business, founder cutting, faster community, and the rest. So this gives you an eye into some of the emails that you are having. All right, so you can, with this, you can know how the email that you are receiving is. Chris Carolina, taker starting, whatever. So with this, I can understand the kind of email you are receiving if I see this. We can also move further by looking at with this. So we can also store this in a text so that it will be automated. How do we do that? We can use something, we can use visualization, data visualization to do this. Here we have the data, so we are getting the subject of the mail, the sender, and the body, and then we are using the sentiment to analyze the polarity of our email. Okay, so and then we are now using Pandas for creating the data frame and passing the data, this data here. So we are passing it into the data frame, and then we are creating a CSV file. So we are so the name will be emails analysis.csv, and then so we don't want to index it, so that's why it's false. So the default is true, but since I put false, okay, so it will not write row's name. Okay, so now let us now run it and let's see what we have. So cancel. All right, so now you can see our email here. So see what is showing us, but here is a CSV file created for us. So if we open this CSV file, inside this CSV file is you can see some of the emails that I've received. So this one is coming from Bitly terms of service. Okay, so I think they have just updated. Okay, yes, they have updated their privacy policy and they are just informing me. All right, so upcoming changes, and then you can see that. So the email that just came in right now is just every email that is just coming in will now be automatically added to this CSV file. So I don't necessarily need to go to my email to check the new email. I can come here and just have a glimpse of what the email is all about, and yeah, that is it. Okay, so this is how we can see. So and then you can see here, look at it here. Okay, so if we look at our sentiment score, so look at this is the sentiment score here. Okay, so it's over 2.2, sorry, so which means it's positive. So if the sentiment is 0, it means it is negative. It is over 0, it means it's positive, and otherwise it is neutral. All right, so this is how we can use Python. So we can even move further by visualizing the email that we are having. Okay, so we can categorize our email still using this same method. So how do we do that? So we can categorize emails that came to our inbox, the one that come to promotion, the one that went to our work email. So we can categorize them like that, and we can use something like, so we can do something like this by giving it a sample label. So this is just a sample. Okay, so this is just a sample, the one that is coming from work, the one that is personal, the one that is promotion, and then by their size is either is 40, 35. Okay, so but then this is just a demo. Okay, so because I don't have my email label, it's not like this. All right, so this is just a sample. So then we are using pi, okay, so that we will have everything equal, and for us to have equal size, we are using the axis and passing equal inside the method axis there. Okay, all right, so then we are also using title, so email category breakdown. So we can use this to get the breakdown of our email. All right, so and when we run it, let's run it after I'm done with this. So if I minimize so if I close this. All right, so look at it now. So by category, you can see personal email, work email, and the rest. So email category, the one that is in promotion, the one that is from work, the one that is personal. So you can really get a lot. All you need is understand that this is possible and you can do it. All right, so this is how we can analyze email using Python. All right, and this will be the end of the video. So please do not forget to like and subscribe to this video. I love you and I celebrate you. Thank you for helping me to grow.